So, hello and welcome back to another episode, or rather another playthrough of EU4. And we're of course doing another playthrough of the Anbennar fantasy mod, as it has come with a new update known as the Final Empire. We do have plenty of new mission trees. I think this one, I'm not sure if this one is the biggest one yet, because it might be. It's only getting bigger and bigger from this point anyway. But there's also not just like, as always, new mission trees, but also plenty of new mechanics. And of course revamped stuff. There's actually a lot of reworked mission trees, I think, this time. But either way, we are gonna jump into something that I always do when a new update comes out. That kind of just happened as sort of a tradition. We're gonna play in Deep Woods as Salla Ayeth this time. So, with that, I also want to say it's only that Salla Ayeth has a mission tree, not the Silanvar itself. So it will probably not be that long of a playthrough to just finish Silanvar afterwards, but we'll see what the future brings. As always, there will be another straw poll in the description for what comes after this playthrough. And we're quickly just gonna go over the nations that I put into the straw poll there. We do have, obviously, Vangheim. I know that people will suggest it at some point, but yeah, Northern Harpies, basically Valkyries, is their theme. Also now with the new province mechanics for the roosts and stuff like that. Yep, they're gonna be one of the options. We will have Sokka. Eats the sun, nothing else to be said about that. And as far as I've read, he literally eats the sun. That's his that's his goal. So whatever this means, I usually don't look too deeply into anything before I start, because I want to kind of experience it as I go along. Another one is going to be Arakillen, as seemingly the mission tree has been updated and reworked. Now, I think they're the elves in the east, or half-elves in the east, right. Half-elven traders going all around and doing trade here and there and everywhere. I think that's the theme. They also have the rainforest and stuff like that. But yep, they're gonna be an options. One that I've just recently found is Uesrenu. They have rats. And if you might have watched my Warhammer Fantasy playthroughs, I love rats. I love rats a little bit more than wood elves, but only a little bit more. So yeah, they're mainly like I just saw rat swarms and other things, but that's basically their theme, having to do with rats and conquering. So that's another choice. And the last one in the list is gonna be right, Rezard. Toranen into Rezard. It seems like Rezard now actually has a mission tree. It's, I think, a little bit more of a more difficult start, because Toranen starts so awkwardly as a one province minor here. But they have, after they form Rezard, another a bigger mission tree. And that looks fairly interesting. But yeah, those are the 5 options. Vangheim, Sokka, Arakillen, Rezard, and Uesrenu. Like I said, the straw poll is in the description. And without further ado, we're gonna take a look at Salla Ayeth. There were 3 elves that I could have chosen from. There's actually also technically some orcs that I could have chosen from. But the problem with the orcs was the orc mission tree that they brought into the woods was, well, leading into Karangabar. And I've played Karangabar recently before, so I thought, like, you know what, wood elves. So I actually don't remember if I've read through all of this. Have I? I think I've read through this. No, I've not. So let's have a read. When our forebears arrived in this forest, we were were they not one people? Were they not united under one cause, under one banner? Should we, their children, not seek wisdom for that? Nadaven Trenen. Oh, have I? That sounds like I have read through it. Whatever. For thousands of years, the mysterious forest known as the Woods has been a source of superstition, mystery, and academic consternation. Inexplorably connected to the Fey realm, the ancient forest is steeped in confounding magics and it's home of many things, bizarre and inexplicable. The most famous example of this was a powerful ward known as the Verdant Veil, which encompassed the forest during the Day of the Ashen Skies, and when those who entered the deep woods from leaving seemingly lost forever in the verdant undergrowth. For over 1,000 years, the Verdant Veil would ensnare and claim many mortals, from curious clans of cave goblins to brave moon elves fighting the Sorcerer King, and even green orcs from the Green Tide. Any who ventured into the woods became trapped with no indication that it would release its prisoners. The deep woods was a bubble, enclosed and sealed off from the rest of Karna, and there was no indication that this would ever change. The status quo was broken when Corin, avatar of the fallen god Glados, and her closest companions entered the deep woods in 1443. Within, she encountered the forest goblins and wood elves, descendants of those lost in the woods long ago, as well as the lost orcish clans of the Green Tide. Alongside the wood elven mage Ardun Trenen and the goblin warlock Oplik, Corin and her companions discovered the source of the Verdant Veil, an archway known as the Eldest. They tracked and defeated the ancient creature and shattered the veil, freeing the inhabitants of the deep woods and opening the woods to the wider world once more. I think I've read through this. Recent history. For the Wood Elves, 1,000 years have passed since their Moon Elf ancestors became trapped behind the Verdant Veil. Their flanking maneuver against the Sorcerer King Nightmare going terribly wrong. Stranded within the forest, the elves adapted to their new home, learning to cope with the ways of the Fey Courts and squabbling with the forest goblins over territory. Over the centuries, they settled the forest groves and fragmented into distinct and independent Salla, Wood Elvish for clans. The deeply fragmented and decentralized Sallas were not ready for the Green Tide. When it arrived in deep woods, it scattered the elven defenders and saw whole clans destroyed and enslaved. While others were pushed to the edges of the ancestral groves, it seemed as though the Wood Elves would be lost in this calamity. Tyr gave Nin the whirlwind. Yet against the storm, the reigning heads of the clans held firm, refusing to allow their people to be swept away. Putting aside generations of petty quarrels, these leaders traveled to the city of Elenale and in a rare act of unity forged the Verdant Pact, an alliance to coordinate, defend and reclaim their homes. Now for the first time since its arrival, Elvenkind and Deep Woods is united in one single purpose, whether it will be enough to retake their homeland and drive back the invaders is yet to be seen. So yeah, we are Wood Elves. We are technically tribes from the beginning. And we need to basically turn into the actual monarchy. Very simple. Otherwise, I don't think we need to read through all of that. Yeah. We do know everything about this. So, we are Salla Ayeth. We are a one province miner. And you might see that there's a new buttons here. This is basically one of the bigger updates, UI updates, to kind of really concentrate all of like the province mechanics that a lot of the races and like mission trees get. And we as Wood Elves have a new thing to play with, and that thing is Rangers. In of the 1,000 years, the Wood Elf Salla retained the martial traditions of their Moon Elf ancestors and have adapted to the forest they have now called home. So we can establish ranger camps, which gives us possible rangers, which reduces the manpower but gives us access to more ranger infantry. Ranger infantry is quite good. It basically nearly negates land attrition, a little bit slower to reinforce, but they get extra landfight damage and they take reduced morale damage by reserves. We're of course gonna heavily focus on that, and I think Salla Ayeth's mission tree actually very much focuses on that. So, next thing on the list. We currently have Salla Ayeth in charge, but I think not for long, because the mission tree focuses on Elaria. And his, well, we'll see what comes. So we have the Verdant Pact, we know that already, and we are the great Salla. We know all of these things. So, rivals. Is gonna be super easy. Black Moon. Jesus Christ, are they stronger than I am? Spike Lock. And that's it. We're not gonna rival Salla Felgan. We're not gonna rival any Salla at all. For now. We are Salla Ayeth. We immediately get production efficiency and military advisor reduction. Could be good with this Dissolent guy. We'll see when it comes around. We don't have anything special here. We are the Fey Court. We get even more land attrition. Yeah, that's gonna negate things pretty heavily. So we have a few things to do here. It might have been more. We basically have the Silly and the Unsilly Fey. And of course the Unaligned. And we can basically improve relations with them through these interactions or through events. And then we basically can do special things from each one. The Seli are more focused on like diplomatic stuff and such things. The Unseli are more focused on conflict, and the Unaligned seem to be are mainly focused on like trade efficiency, production, and such things. Yeah, we'll come around. I'm gonna immediately do 2 rangers. They take 0 days to build. They don't cost. They cost me just. Oh. They still need to grow, right? They're on 0. They start on 500. Okay. I'm very willing to immediately switch out these guys here. No question. I want all of them. Anyway, we have something else to do here. Let's immediately wait. Oh. No worries. We're gonna focus on military. That's bad, actually. We're gonna focus on military right away, if this mission wants us for that. And we do need to get some stuff. Okay, then we'll just seize land. Very easy. It feels like it's been a while since I've done this. I actually have to admit. Weirdly enough, we're gonna immediately take this one. We're gonna take the oversight. Expansionist, salutary. No, we're not gonna take that yet. We're probably gonna take religious culture, but we do need this. We do need this. And that's about it with you. Yep. You guys, we're gonna take the right of council, supremacy of the Salla. Very easy, I think, with military. Don't have anything else. Merchant guild. Prestige. Free enterprise. And I guess we're gonna also immediately give ourselves money. Yoink. That's not a lot of money. Might have been stupid. We're gonna take the generous quest rewards, I think, right away, just to keep things in order. What is that? Call the hunt. Primacy of the rangers. Okay, I see a few things here. So this gives our rangers plus 20% combat ability, shock damage. Like you can't. Yes. Call the hunt. What do you do? We get manpower depending on our ranger camps. Scota strategy. Ayeth strategy. Oh god, this is amazing. I love this already. Use ranger pathfinders. Less rangers but more movement speed. Oh god. Don't give me so many options. Okay, this is all. I think we're gonna immediately do primacy of the rangers. Like there's no discussion about that. Yeah. Giving my rangers plus 20% at infantry combat ability and minus 10% shock damage received is crazy. We do have these 5% left. I don't think I want Call of the Hunt at the moment because we don't really have a ranger camp, I think. Yet? This is no ranger camp, right? This is just Legacy of the Lost Legion, yeah. Alright, yeah, this one was pretty useless, whatever. Anything else we want to do here? I don't think we want that. Call the Hunt. Use Ranger Pathfinders. Reduces my possible rangers by 0.25. That does hurt a little bit. But I guess it's not too bad, because we get 15% movement speed. Yeah. The Druids. I do like that you all have now more appropriate names. Oh, there's also Draenor strategy. Gives defense and movement. Fort maintenance. Yes, words. I use those from time to time. So, we're gonna... oh, 0.5. Is that 0.5%? We can only have 3 rangers, it says now. Why? The state of Ayeth gives me 3.9 rangers. Is there any... oh! Oh! I mean, no, this is this. those maths don't make any sense, right? Or is that just me? We get 5.3 from Ayeth and minus 0.25 from used Ranger Pathfinder. Sure, if you say so. That's just how it works. Sure. We're gonna stay a little bit above numbers, just for the sake of it. Our horses are now a bit worse, but we basically have now a 10% boost towards our infantry compatibility, and we get, I mean, shock damage reduction, right? Yeah, that's amazing against orcs. So, let's actually take a look at the mission tree. So, we need to wait for a special event, it seems here. Eladia's warband returns, okay. And we have Salla Ayeth needs to be happy about me. Sure. I think a very easy way to do that would be to just straight up insult your rivals. Pedal Smasher, Oblique Shield, and Vermin Husk. Screw you. Obviously a big one. So, my only allies. Among the Wood Elves, few understand the urgency of our times. Fewer still are willing to act. Salla Ayeth, hardened by the bone growth, remains one of the last clans with both the will and the means to wage war. My father once supported them in their struggle against the Oblique. Now my daughter is the consort of their clan leader Alada, bounding our Salla by both common interest and shared blood. That alliance must not be forgotten. In them I see potential, not just as allies, but as foundations for a broader coalition in the south. Securing their continued loyalty is what may decide whether we could reclaim the Deep Woods or are consumed by it. We get 10 trust and 10 more favors. We gain a half-cost natural scientist. Sure, that we can all do. Ada here, White Arrow. Do I want you in? I mean, I'm currently losing a bit of money. Could do this right away, but I'm not doing that. Okay, good. We're not gonna send a spy network at Spike Lock because I think we need to immediately fight them. Together with maybe Salla thingy. Am I even worried? You are goblins, right? And now I just got a boost. I got a decent boost. I don't have a dude. I guess we're gonna turn you into a leader, right? Why shouldn't I? I don't want you in charge. Hell yeah! What the fuck? That's fast. Probably should start speeding up this a little bit. Do I need any other allies? I don't think so, right? No, not really. Okay. I don't want to send a spy network here because I might need to declare war against them as soon as possible. Okay, we have 70 minutes. I guess it is a decent time now to start the game. I assume that you're immediately gonna ally someone? Or are you? Yes. Bramble Skinner. Bramble Skinner is... No. Beast Eater? Wait. Bramble Skinner. Just... Oh yeah, do you guys. Yeah, I guess that wants me to get get my ally in, but I can actually call them in. And I think this mission actually does something special, yeah. It gives me claims. But it also, Salla Ayeth takes control over the Bronzes and Gosset area that are controlled by Salla Ayeth. So yeah, we are gonna take control over this area, so we can easily call them in without any issues. We do have cores here, so we can easily start a reconquest anyway, if we want to. Let's let the game run until we are allowed to declare war, because I'm gonna do that immediately. On the 11th, yes. I guess I can also do an anti-monstrous conquest. There's no trouble with that. Oh, there we go. What is that? Why are you not posting on events? That's dumb. Yeah, and this whole thingy, this whole mission tree is basically, I think, in first person. Yeah. I've returned with my warband to the outskirts of Ayeth. Not as victors, not yet, but our excursion deep into the enemy lines was quite successful. The path here winds through groves older than these invaders, where the trees are too ancient to bend and too proud to bloom. Their roots twist like the fingers of old sentinels, and with each step we take, the ground groans with the hollow breath of limestone veins that run deep and wide beneath our home. Our grove was never peaceful, but it was also never silent. Now, even the caverns below us are quiet. Ayeth itself stands untouched for now. There's no siege, no watchfire in the hills, no horn or drum sounding from the dark. The gates of the city are closed but broken. The faded green banners with crossed silver arrows are faded, yet they still proudly weave in the breeze. There's no smoke on the horizon, only the rustle of ancient leaves and the faint scent of moss and stone. They are as tight as if the forest itself was holding its breath. The silence I can hear my rangers whisper that the orcs move like shadows in their encampments, gathering in gladeways and valleys. They have not yet struck, but they will. In the stillness I think of my mother. I think of what we lost when the black moon came, and I think of what I have become in chasing them from grove to grove, leaving only blood and broken messages in their wake. Ayeth's will not fall again. We will not wait behind its walls and hope the trees protect us or the caverns collapse below their feet. The forest is calm now, and before the sound of war drums reaches our land, I must go to the inner hall where my father waits, for we have words yet to speak. Open the gates. Oh shit, we can immediately get more rangers. Okay. And money. Cool. That tells me that I'm immediately gonna start a war, actually. So, the seat my father was meant to rule from still stands, but he does not. The pain of losing her, of watching the world collapse after the green tide has broken something in him. I do not try to blame him, for I have walked the same corridors of grief. I have seen my mother's face in dreams and woken with tears I could not explain. But mourning cannot become a form of governance. What was once a pause for healing has curdled into decay. The clan watches, hesitant, uncertain, and still loyal to a name that no longer leads. And I see in their eyes the questions that they do not ask. How long can we wait? How long before we too become like Scoffer, scattered like Ghoul, forgotten like a lion, silent? Oh wait. How long before we too become like Scoffer, scattered, like Ghoul, forgotten, like a lion, silent? I am sorry, Father, you were meant to guide us through this storm, but I cannot let your silence become our end. If you cannot act, I must. The silent throne. The grave is no throne anymore, only a grave for the living. I must speak with my father, bleed if I must, but I will not let mourning become our grave. Fuck, there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of reading. The great hall of Ayeth's is quieter now than it ever was in war. No commands are barked, no horns, no drums, no thrum of drawn bowstrings. Just the hush that follows after something truly valuable breaks. Outside, the wind tugs at the bones of the roof, prying loose planks with hollow groans. The rafters above me creak like the limbs of dying tree. Dead leaves drift in through open slats, gathering in wood-hewn corners. My boots are soft against the ruined floor, not daring to disturb the cursory silence that surrounds me. Asking me if I know what I'm doing, I do not. He is here, my father. Not at a high seat, not standing with his hunting cloak billowing like clouds of thunder behind him, no. He sits beneath it now, his back to the stone, knees drawn like a child. His cloak clings to him like a burial cloth, eyes open but unfocused. Dull, clouded, not seeing anything. I stop just before him. I want to speak, but the words feel caught like a hand meeting a gnaw on the armrest of a chair. Father? No answer. Only the sound of the wind scratching at the doors. I crouch beside him. My hand touches his shoulder, yet his body doesn't flinch. Just takes more deeply into itself. Father, look at me. His gaze finally shifts. A familiar flicker in them, now dim and weak, like a coal losing its glow. You cannot lead like this, I say. If you will not stand, then please let me. A long pause, a blink, a slow brittle turn of the old head, and at last words dry and cracked. And what would you do, Eladia? March through every glade, torch every warren, spill blood until the pain fades? He asks. I would act because someone has to. Father, you mourn, we all do, but you mourn like you're already dead. My words pierce him like an arrow pierces the hide of an ancient stag. Father, I did not come to beg, I came to ask, one last time. His hand reaches for the glass with his shoulders and fastens his cloak. He pushes its weight into my palm. I will not stop you, he says, barely louder than a breath. Increase the level of grief of Eladia, currently 0. Eladia Ayeth becomes the ruler. So, like I said, Eladia immediately takes over. We immediately also have discipline. And we have Eladia's grief, whatever that currently does. At the moment, we just have ranger camp here, right? I do have probably more rangers than I'm allowed to have. Yeah, definitely. Nothing else to be said about that. Kill him. It's at war with the Black Moon. I see. Okay, we need to spy on Silent Blade. So we'll do that. Good stuff. We will wait a day. Immediate war. We can do Monstrous War, obviously. We're gonna call in Salla Ayeth. And let's see if we can just smash. My armies are... Oh, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. Okay. Stay. We need... These guys should be fast. They should be really fast. So. You go here. You go here. And you go here. This should work. Right? We should be faster than they are. Obviously. I'm not gonna take any marriages because I don't want to. Yes, there we go. That's exactly what I wanted. You guys come together again. You guys are gone. Good. I guess I could move over here. These guys are actually helping me, funnily enough. Jesus Christ, there's 9k guys here. Yeah, there we go. Just siege that. Oh, why? Why? That was completely unnecessary. Please, now siege this again. I'm actually really happy that I'm currently just abusing these guys. And their manpower. That's actually really useful. I did not expect that. There we go. Thank you very much for your assistance. Split. Immediately go here. Good thing is this is all mine. So, nothing to worry about. Yoink. You have only one ally, good. So, finishing what he started. My father's campaign against the goblins of Spikelock were not mere border skirmishes, but a deliberate effort to reclaim the Arrow Grove in full to drive back the infestation that has long gnawed at its roots. For a time he succeeded, but the green tide changed everything, reducing our strength to a flicker and binding us to Ayeth's deer alone. That wound remains open. If we are to survive, let alone prosper, we must do more than remember his victories. I must finish what he began. The goblins cannot be allowed to regroup and fester. Their presence weakens our claim, poisons the grove, and invites further chaos. So like I said, we get a bunch of money, we get a bunch of claims. Lovely. In his name. Reconcile with Ayeth. Sure, at some point. Oh, we have no leader. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm actually a fucking idiot. Here's the thing. I'm worried that this guy dies. Right? I want you guys to actually siege Bramble Scanner, because... Wait, you guys just march into these? Does this work? It does work, actually. Holy shit. You guys have my stuff. I want that stuff. I probably should get rid of these loans, right? Yeah. Where are you going? Somewhere. Currently, we have no one joining us. You are currently in a war with me, so you have war exhaustion. Otherwise, you would be completely willing to join this, yeah. Blightseed will join you. You guys have this. You have a mage leader. And I have the slight feeling that this might get rid of the mage leader. We do need to viciously mock. Okay. Yeah, sure. It's not like this is a problem. Here you go. Cool. This is just a spy network, and then to do something with this. I do want to quickly, like, reclaim some stuff here. This is Blightseed, right? You guys... you would get out. You would give me a decent bit of money. Before we waste our time here, I'm actually gonna do that right away. Or I could make you get that. I don't want that. Because... I want to beat you up. The more important enemy. So, all of that, no question. So, immediately core that. We are not gonna reduce the amount of units that we have. That's just gonna improve. I'm worrying about this here. What do we need? We need a 5 base manpower to get the Rangers rolling. Apparently, oh yeah, right, the Ranger strategy is this, I assume. Where was that? What was the options? I think it was either... I guess we could do this now. Yeah, this is actually pretty good. The problem is that you guys are gonna be very powerful, but if this gives me so many options, I would do that. So this is economic. The Ayeth strategy probably is the one that makes the most sense with this, but I don't really think that this really makes that much sense. I don't think I want any ranger strategy at the moment. Right? No. I'm completely alright at the moment. So. We just need to be at war with thingy. You're currently walking towards whom? Bramble Scanner. I think I should probably do this before the fight starts. I cannot call you in because we don't owe you enough favors at the moment. I probably should do this. Yeah. I do also kind of need to recover some numbers first, before I go really crazy. Yeah, we're losing money, but you need to recover. And the thing is, we can easily get this guy smashed. It's not like that. Oh, but this is gonna take forever, right? Maybe I should have done this fight right away. Yeah, there is something very much, I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's standing right there. I could call you in afterwards. I just need to do a little bit of fighting. That's what it's at with all of you. Oh. You're currently, I guess, strongish. I would like to be immediately ready to kill you. That would be the best way to do this. Let's wait for some rangers to return. Oh, Jesus Christ, this episode is already over. Okay. So like always, like shenanigans, I guess see you guys next episode. Bye.